What's new in MoonBit last month? Let's have a look. In all cases involving trait objects, the syntax has been updated from directly using trait to and trait. In the new version, if you use the as syntax to cast a value to a trait object, a warning will be generated. All places that mention trait objects, including type annotation, defining method on trait objects and trait object creation should be modified to adapt to this change. This change aims to clearly distinguish trait object types from the traits themselves in syntax, avoiding confusion and the associated performance overhead. The new local types feature in the MoonBit programming language introduces the ability to declare struct, enum, types inside the scope of a top-level function. For example, inside the function main, you can construct enum named local t. You can also deconstruct with pattern matching. These types can also support functionality typically available to top-level types, such as derive, show. One limitation is that local types cannot introduce their own generic parameters, because it could cause type leaks. However, you can still use the generic parameters of the current top-level function. Also note that local types cannot currently be declared as error types. A warning will be report. MoonBit now supports labeled loops across various loop types, including functional loops, while, for in, and traditional for loops. With labeled loops, you can explicitly direct break and continue to target any loop labeled with a unique identifier, allowing for seamless jumps across multiple levels of nested loops. Inside the nested loop, a continue L1 jumps directly back to the outer loop, skipping the remainder of the inner loop. A break exits the outer loop entirely, regardless of how deeply nested the control flow is. This powerful feature simplifies control flow in nested loops, making your code cleaner and more expressive. Developers can now specify custom parameters when deriving to JSON and from JSON. While JSON lacks native support for complex data structures, MoonBit now allows developers to define how enums should be represented in JSON. Take the tag position and enum representations as an example. There are 4 distinct tag positions. Internally tagged. You can put the tag alongside the payload values in the same object level. Externally tagged, the tag acts as a key, with the payload as its value, nested within a single JSON object. Adjacently tagged, the tag and payload are split into 2 adjacent keys in the same JSON object. And you can also get rid of tag with no explicit tag for indicating which case the data is. The primary application scenario for this feature is seamless JSON-based communication between MoonBit and external services. In MoonBit, there are 4 levels of type visibility. First, private. Second, abstract, visible outside the current package only by name. The internal definitions are hidden. Third, read-only. You can read the type's fields, for example, a struct's fields, or pattern match against it, but you cannot construct the type or modify its mutable fields. The last is being fully public. Now, the default visibility of pub changed from being completely public to read-only. To declare a type as fully public, you now need to use pub all. For traits, fully public means that external packages can implement the trait. To achieve this, traits should be declared as pub open. Many types are naturally intended to be read-only, but developers might have defaulted to the shortest and easiest option pub for simplicity, unintentionally exposing too much. A block line is a separator added between top-level constructs, such as functions, let declarations, methods, and type definitions, which aligns with the behavior of the latest Moon format, ensuring formatting consistency between the editor and CI. Warnings can be customized through the warn list parameter in the Moon PKG JSON file. Look at the error message in the IDE. The error code is displayed in parentheses next to the message, for example, 1015. To disable this specific error, add -15 to the warn list in moon.pkg.json. After adding this, the error will no longer appear. If you want to downgrade the error to a warning, add +15 to the warn list, and you can see the error message become warning. The command moonc compile warn help will show you what the numbers in the warn list all represent. MoonBit Web IDE now supports out-of-the-box debugging. Open the dev tool in your browser, and you can instantly start debugging. During debugging, it will stop at the function main, then you can use like step over, next function call to track its execution process. The AI now supports model switching, interruption, and retrying during generation. This increases the flexibility of the entire MoonBit AI usage process and helps to some extent overcome issues in the generation process caused by poor network conditions. Recently, MoonBit introduced 2 platforms, Language Tour and Online Judge, for you to learn and practice MoonBit. MoonBit Language Tour covers MoonBit's key syntax. You can view syntax docs on the left side and interact with the code example on the right side. Our language tour is powered with the recent IDE features, like real-time value tracing to monitor variable behavior. MoonBit Online Judge is a LeetCode-style platform for users to practice MoonBit by solving puzzles. Currently, it covers more than 100 puzzles. If you have any questions, please tell us in the comment. And don't forget to follow and like.